Hello, it is Wednesday the 6th. Time really does fly. I was talking to my friend Blake, who plays trumpet. He was here the other day, a young man, but a really deep young man. And even at his age, he's saying, it really seems like time is speeding up. I don't say it to too many people because he says he feels like maybe he's going crazy. I says, no, I feel it too. Science talks about it too. The acceleration of our experience of time. It's real. I'm going to see if I can remember what all it is I would like to share. First off, I want to thank you all for the feedback regarding the mini documentary States of America, or rather my part in the States of America documentary series. I had forgotten about it, and I looked, and that video has been online for a year. They never told me until yesterday that it was online. I'm really pleased with what they left in. They interviewed me for hours and videotaped it all, and I really let loose. And it would be cool if they could show, if somebody could get a hold of that and make a longer documentary. I'm encouraging everyone to share the video and try to get people to watch it, especially in Nebraska. I'm trying to get people to get the mayor and other civic leaders to watch it because of my comments about racism. I'd like to stir up some shit. I'd like to create some controversy that leads to some positive change. I'd like to ruffle some feathers. I'd like to see what kind of bullshit the mayor would try to say to me in response to my comments about racism in Nebraska. Because I'll come back respectfully, but with my knowledge fully loaded, not accepting bullshit. There's so much racism, so much insanity. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about music, and then I will see what pops up, because it's just a crazy time. I just received a package this evening from Chris Cole, John Coltrane 68. I've only opened one of the records. He sent me two very cool records. Chris, thank you very much. You don't have to send me anything. And if you feel like that, that's on you. I guess you want to. I love that you send me music, but you don't have to. Okay, Chris? You don't have to send me any music. You've sent me enough. Okay? Doesn't that sound weird to tell somebody to stop? I'm not telling you to stop. I'm saying if there's some kind of strange thought you have where you feel like you have to do it, get rid of that. Okay? I do appreciate this. I've only played one of the two. Dan Morehouse, Patterns of Growth, Curves of Life. I had never heard of this. Again, I want to give some props to Chris Cole for being a crate digger of the highest. He really is a master of the obscure. Now, I know some obscure stuff, but I learned from Chris. Now, you can learn from me. And Chris learns from me, too. But I learn from him, and everybody worldwide, as I'm seeing on the internet. Chris is ahead. He's knowledgeable. And I see that copies of this are not cheap. So thank you. Because I do have a lot of records that I've discovered good music cheaply, like him. But I do love it when people send me collectible shit. And this is collectible. He may have found it cheaply, but look at it online. Pay $30 minimum for it. The other record you sent me, Chris, I haven't opened yet because it's still sealed, and I think that's pretty cool that you sent me an album that has value sealed. I'm going to open it, but to me, I see it as a sign of respect, Chris. You have sent me a lot of music over the years, and over the years, you've sent me some wonderful stuff, and you've sent me a lot of stuff that's, well, obviously you got it for nothing, which is fine, you know what I'm saying? But to send me something like this, which has, market value, and it's sealed. Carlo Vinci Jr., Piper of Dreams. I have not heard this album. I don't know this man's work. Probably fusion jazz, possibly in the area close to New Age, possibly. But I saw Chris showing this on Facebook and some people talking about it. I didn't know he was going to send this to me. It's still sealed. That's pretty damn cool, Chris. Thank you. I'm not going to open it just yet. It's also cool that I can't find any clips of it online. You know, this is interesting. So it will be, when I play it, it will be an experience. Thank you. Charlie, Cowwood, any members of Lost Crowns that happen to see this? I got through this the other day and I put it online and it led to some sales. A couple of folks got back to me and said, wow, this is really good. I called it angular. The compositions are angular. They go like this and like that, and then they double back and do it again. And the words are interesting. These people are saying something. Lost Crowns. What's the name of this album? Every Night Something Happens. I'm chuffed that I have a promo copy of it that has a radio edit that is not on the CD in the stores. That's fun. That's some of that collector geeky bullshit, which I'm really not into, but I'm aware of it because I used to be into it. But the musicianship on this is high. The drums... Okay, here's my... It's not a criticism, it's a personal thing. It sounds like they're trying to follow in the footsteps of the sound of the drums from Henry Cow, Chris Cutler. Chris Cutler had a very particular style. And I think that it's harder to pull off than people think. If I had produced this, I'd have the drummer play differently. Can I say that, guys? But this is fantastic. Thank God this is being made now. This music is being made now. Lost Crowns. Pick up on this. Modern progressive rock. A burn that I played. The record, if you can find it, is very, very, very expensive. Lagonia, etc. I forget where this is from. It's Latin. I don't know if it's Argentina or I forget which country. This is psychedelic and it's just killer. Interesting how, well, not interesting, but it's like if the world's borders were actually more open and the market actually encouraged people to hear what's out there, these guys probably would have been huge in America. This is so killer. But you can't hear about shit because markets are so tightly controlled and protected. Gotta have my money. I hate that about this world. I'm always gonna say it. Am I nuts? I guess so. It's the way of the world. That, you know, we're led by the economy and by the market, and everybody seems to be fine with it, except for me. What's wrong with me? The other night, I got into a jag, listening to House of Love. House of Love from England. Okay. The Beatles really, other than whatever else was going on with them regarding being manipulated by governments, the Beatles' music touched my life in a hugely profound and wonderful way. The sound of guitars and the English way, I'm going to put it like that, the English way became really important to my sensibilities growing up. And so the House of Love to me are in the lineage of the Beatles, but they're not recognized for it. The House of Love is one of the greatest bands ever come out of England for me. When I start playing them, I just have to play them on repeat and repeat and repeat. And then I've got my guitar in here, so I've been playing. I wish I could play this for you. That's one aside I'll say. I noticed in my last long video where I played more than 30 seconds of music, they slapped that fucking ad on there, which I don't like. I know that I could make money by those ads, but I'm making a statement. See, people, as poor as I am, to me it's more important to, that's the problem. Everyone just gives into the money, so everyone's a whore to it, and life has no meaning. These videos are important to me to not see that fucking advertising shit on it. Leave my shit alone. Can't anything be just what it is? Why don't more people see that we have settled for just selling each other stuff instead of figuring out how to really get along with each other and live together? So I'm always going to speak out against it, you know. I hate that ad shit. No, I don't want, I need the money. I don't want it. I don't, okay? Do you feel me? And yes, the way I come off in the States of America video, it's the same person. I have no reason to, I'm just me all the goddamn time, okay? This album is amazing. Guitar pop. Just fantastic. I forget who sent this to me, but someone sent this to me. It's a promo of I Don't Know Why I Love You and 2 songs on the B-side. Promo in a generic Fontana sleeve. I love shit like this. The other thing is it's cut slightly different. It sounds different than the other versions. It's cut. It's not a mix, it's the cut. I do know a little bit about that from making records. Their first EP, it's an EP, it's not a full album, although I think of it as an album because it's so freaking good. She Mean Nothing to Me. Animal. Real Animal. Flow. Damn, this album is killer. The House of Love. The House of Love, one of the best bands out of England. Do I think they're better than Radiohead? Yeah. Do I think they're better than Oasis? Fuck yes. Who else? I think they're better than all of them. Except maybe Catherine Wheel. And I saw Catherine Wheel and the House of Love together. And both bands just did my head in. I got to meet Chad that night. Guy Chadwick. Got his autograph. We spoke for a minute, but I could see that he was off his head on something. And I know what that's like. I know what that's like. And so I just hung out with him. You know, I got his autograph. And I didn't bug him too much. But Guy dug me. I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't put up with fools who try to come on here who have never met me and give me shit. Because you don't know. You don't know. Okay? You haven't met me. You know? I'm real. That's what it is. Okay? And by being real and honest with the self, you put your bullshit in check. And other people can feel it when they're around you. I know this because it's consistent. So when I met House of Love and got to hang out with the guy for just a little bit, it was just great to just, he signed my CD and I got to chat him up for a second and to just stand there, you know, next to him, you know what I'm saying? And he'd kind of look over at me every now and then, you know, and he'd give me these big eyes, you know. I love shit like that, people. The House of Love. Destroy the Heart. Some of the best fucking music to ever come out of anywhere. The House of Love. It ain't the coffee, people. It ain't the coffee. This is me talking. House of Love. Bad motherfuckers. You know who else I think is in this company, but they don't get the props, is the Chameleons. Mark Burgess, my friend, was just talking to him. I think Mark Burgess, Guy Chadwick, Rob Dickinson. I was just talking to Dave Haw from Catherine Wheel, because I put this online and he was saying, that's one of my top 10s, buddy. And then I told him, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you the night I saw you. I saw them. Whoo, man. House of Love, people. I mean every word I'm saying. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. And I've got more, but I pulled these. Beatles and the Stones. Maybe Mark, did you help me with these? More than one person has helped me with my House of Love collection. I really appreciate it. Because I bought a ton load, and then I've had people send me stuff. Babe Rainbow. Consistent. Good. Okay, have I talked about the House of Love enough? Pulled this. Haven't gotten through it all the way. Ron Geeson. A Raise of Eyebrows. He became famous when he helped to write Adam Hart Mother with Pink Floyd. He did that Music for the Body with Roger Waters. I have that on CD. This is him doing his thing in the studio, practicing his craft. And from that point of view, it's very interesting. But as a listening experience, some of the things he's doing, it's like it's a novelty. It's like you can get through it once. It's not something you want to hear again. But this is a cool album to have in my collection. It's not an original. Ron Geeson, the Pink Floyd man. What else did I not put away? Because I always put stuff away. And yes, I put stuff away. So this one's not going to be a super long one, I don't think, okay? In these ways, people have asked about stuff, and I'll address this about drugs. You know, it's like the drug story is the drug story, okay? The thing to understand is psychedelics, when psychedelics are understood and used medicinally, that's not taking drugs. That's a catalyst for growth. So I'm very, very, I feel fortunate for the psychedelic experience that I've had. All the other shit, I'm glad I put it away. I haven't done cocaine and shit like that well over 35 years. I can't even remember. See, I always say 30, but I don't remember. It's been that long. It's been over 30 years. I just recently had to deal with some associates of mine, hanging out with them, smoking a joint, and then all of a sudden they're pulling out coke. Usually I leave, okay? But I said, oh, okay. And I said to them, I said, damn, guys, I didn't realize that coke still had that strong of a hold on people. We just don't learn shit, do we? And they didn't care what I had to say. It meant nothing to me. You can't give me cocaine. There's more stuff. Oh, more stuff. Here's just some stuff in general. So I caught a picture of Grace Jones at some Tommy Hilfiger fashion run last night or the night before. The woman is 70. Look up the pictures. Talk about a badass bitch, and I mean that as a compliment. Talk about the woman is 70. She's killing it. She's graceful, beauty. Them legs are going ba-bam. Grace Jones in her own way has been a big inspiration to me, because she goes her own way and she doesn't take shit. There's a great video online where she's being interviewed by some asshole in England, and he's being very patronizing, and she just had got done with it, and she hit him a couple times. Fuck yeah. Grace Jones. People ask me about other music, and I respond, well, I've talked about it. I don't mean to be a dick, but I have. I've made 1,000+ videos, and I'll talk about stuff when I want to. It's that simple, you know. In person, a request would be honored because we could interact. On here, the request has to spark my interest, otherwise it's like, fuck it, no, I don't want to do it. And again, I'm not on Patreon, and you notice I haven't asked anyone to help me out monetarily in a while, because that's not why I'm here, okay? I ain't about that fucking money. And so if you were paying me, then I'd have to do what you say. But I'm just living, you know? I keep forgetting to tell you about shit that I have for sale, like my t-shirts and stuff. I'll leave the links. Buy my t-shirts. That's how I'm living. Okay? I'm not on Social Security. I'm not on food stamps. I'm not on any... I have never been on any assistance. When I stopped working, I lived as long as I could off of my retirement till it was gone. And since then, I've been making it on my own with my records with help from people. Yes, people have come to my rescue a few times. Thank God. And I fucking deserve it. You feel me? That's the one thing that I said in the video of States of America. The double standard. It's not fair for people of color. It's not fair for women. It's not fair for people who want to identify themselves sexually the way they want to, the way they feel inside. It ain't fair. It is not fair. And that's why I rage and rant when I do. And I look at the crap on Facebook. Okay, let me do this before I go. Let me go and see what kind of bullshit news is going on. Facebook, everyone is losing their minds, you know. Losing their minds. Okay, that's about me. Let me just go and see. What's the first thing about politics that I see? Okay. DNC bars Fox News from hosting 2020 primary debates. Here it is. How Trump's 50 million golf club became 1.4 million when it came time to pay tax. See, of course, you know, the whole deal is rigged in favor of the rich. Nothing is fair. Nothing is fair. And these people are inhuman. Teachers work more unpaid overtime than anyone else, and then they have the nerve to talk about the children. While behind the doors, what's all the scandal? All these rich politicians fucking kids? Adrenochrome? That's not conspiracy, idiots. I'm saying it for you folks that want to just hang on to thinking, oh, that ain't real. Fucking idiots. How many thousands, tens of thousands of women and children disappear every year? Poor people aren't buying them. Poor people aren't killing them and sucking the blood out of them. This shit is real, people. You know, man, if I could take you on a trip through time back to the unit that I worked on in the hospital when the Franklin sex scandal all blew up. I'll tell this much of the story, because people I know have disappeared behind this stuff, and people I know have died because of the Franklin sex scandal. You've heard about it. I worked as a psychiatric technician on the adult. Okay, I'm just going to go here, because this is the truth. Other people have been telling the truth. Notice what I'm doing? This is how fucked up these people are. I'm not afraid, but I know how fucked up they are. And if they think you're a threat, they will eliminate you, okay? So what I'm telling you is not more inflammatory than what's been told already. But I worked at a hospital here in Omaha, a psychiatric hospital. And I worked on all the units. I worked there for a long time, and it's just my nature. I'm good with people, okay? I did go to college too, okay? But anyway, I'm working the 11 to 7 shift, or the 3 to 11, one or the other. I ended up working a double because I'm on the adult intensive care unit, locked in the psych ward. And here comes the sheriff, black suited with ties, and Secret Service men with a gaggle of little preteen and teenagers, all handcuffed, shackled, chained, ankles chained. The kids are so drugged they can barely walk, and they're bringing these kids into the adult ICU unit, okay? These are the victims. These were the kids that the politicians and the business people were having the sex parties with. Now, why did they round up the kids and bring them in like this? To shut them up, because they started to talk because the parties had gotten out of hand, okay? I know this from working with the victims, okay? Once the Secret Service, I'm telling a lot more than I ever thought I would. I'm just going to keep going. They brought them in. Usually when the sheriff brings in people like that that are considered dangerous, after they unlock them and then chain them and do the paperwork and they're secured, they leave. Well, the sheriffs left, but the Secret Service didn't. They stayed on the unit. I don't know how long. Was it a week? Was it 2 weeks? Put the kids directly into the IC, the back, worst part of the ward, put them in full point restraints. It was madness. These kids were pissing on themselves. They could hardly stand up. These people were scared out of their minds to hush up. the scandal. All these rich, powerful people just using their power on these defenseless kids. And once the fucking Secret Service left, and whoever was assigned to the kids came to his senses and started to titrate the drugs down so the kids could eat and could come back to their senses, and we didn't have to have them in diapers and feed them. And once they started to come around, the shit they told me, I didn't believe it. A lot of it, I mean, I'm listening to it, and again, I keep telling you, because of my nature as a person, people talk to me. This has happened all over the world. I'm minding my own business, and a complete stranger will come up and say, man, you look like a person I could talk to. And they spill their guts. So the kids spilled their guts, and it was the first time I ever heard the name Hillary Clinton. Okay? That's the first time I ever heard her name. Okay? So, when you hear me going on about politics and politicians and the rich and greedy, I've seen behind the veil. I also almost became a Jesuit, because in Catholic Boys High School I had a positive experience through some of the Jesuits who helped me get my shit together, and I became an acolyte. Well, that fell apart once I got up there and had to deal with all the fondling up there. I'm in the fucking monastery. I was underage. I'm an acolyte. I think I was 18. I couldn't go to chapel with other people without getting fondled by the other jabs. It's bullshit. So and also because I'm black, if I had the white skin, then I would have that privilege of being able to believe the fantasy, because I have the advantage of white privilege. But I don't. So I tell it like it is, okay? For me. And the way it looks, okay? So, share that short little 5-minute States of America mini documentary about me. I've watched some of the others. I'm real proud of mine. Everyone tells what they have to say in their own way. I'm on a mission, though, you know. Share that video. Thank you.